I've doubled my subscribers to 6, so 6 people in the world are fans of mine. Um, I would like to start today with a story about a blind chap who was walking along at Waterloo, and he was walking into um, the wall, and he was going to walk into a sandwich advertisement board as well. So I've jumped out and said, "Look, I'm a black cab driver. You're just about to walk into a wall and the sandwich advertisement board. Would you let me drop you into the station? I don't want any money off you." He said, No. He said, "I don't really fancy the tube today. Would you fancy dropping me home to Finchley?" I said, "Well, when you think about it, it's rush hour at the moment, so that's going to be expensive. Finchley's a bit of a journey." He said, "That's all right. I'm a wealthy man." So off we've set. I've got lucky. And it was a good journey, good conversation. He's a law professor. He teaches law. He's as blind as a bat. So when we got into Finchley, there was a BP garage on the left, and he said, "Look, there's a BP garage just over on the left." Yeah, I thought I was on a reality television show. I'd like to get some money, so I thought that this is going to be interesting. So he's actually written his PIN number down and given me his cash card. He said, "It's £100. So he thumbed his notes and he's paid me. He said to me, "Would you mind leaving your number in case I ever don't fancy the tube again, and I prefer a lift home?" So I did, but I've not heard from him yet, but it was a good journey. Second one would be a golden rule for a cab driver would be, if somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, if somebody is leaning against a fence, a post or a wall, don't stop. If the wall, the fence or the post weren't there, they're going to fall over. So I've broke the golden rule and stopped for this chap, and he'd had a couple of drinks, and he's jumped in. All he's got with him is a man bag like Joey has in Friends, and it's probably worth more than I make in a month. And all he had in this, it was a great journey. He wanted to go West Smithfield to Plumstead, so that's a good journey for any cabbie. And he was what I would call a plastic paddy. His parents were born in Ireland, but he was born here. And he considered himself to be an Irishman. Now, it was coming up to an England-Ireland rugby game. So we got round to talking about rugby, and Ireland had turned us over a couple of times in important games in Ireland. And I think it was on the Sunday they were playing. And when he's got out, I didn't realise he'd forgot his bag, and I went straight home through the Blackwall Tunnel. In the morning, my little boy says, "Dad, can we play in the cab and make out I'm a cabbie?" "Yeah, all right then." So he's got in and he said, "Dad, there's a bag there." So in this bag was a wedding ring and a cash card. And the wedding ring looked used, worn and sentimental. So I thought, I like this man, he was a good lad, and I need to get this back to him. So I went to the bank. I said, this is one of your customers and one of my passengers. Can we get this back to him? Because looks like it might mean something. So he said, "Leave your phone number and I'll ring you in a few days." 5 days later, the phone rang, and the chap on the end of the phone said, "Cab driver," he said, "I'm stunned." He said, "There's 25,000 of you in London," he said, "and my mum stopped crying and she's talking to me again." Well, I said, "That's brilliant, mate. I feel really good about myself now." I did feel good. And he said, "I've left you something in the bank." So when I went to the bank, the bank manager went to me, "Did you know who that was?" "No, mate. Who is he?" "His name's Aidan McArdle. I believe Aidan is a very accomplished Shakespearean actor. He was one of Brad Pitt's brothers in Legend of the Falls, and I think he was in Mr. Selfridge as well. And he's left me an autographed bottle of champagne." I should have phoned him and said, look, can you make it Guinness or Budweiser, because I'm not a real champagne drinker. But nice fella. And the last one, I picked up an American fella, and he wanted the Comrade. So on the way there, we were talking about a big hero of mine would be Audie Murphy, who not many people know. He was an American GI. He's my complete hero. He lied about his age. He wound up in the infantry, and at the age of 19, when World War II finished, he got 37 medals, and one of them's a Congressional Medal of Honor. And not many Americans know about him. So we had a good chat. He's got out and gone, and the phone's ringing in the back. So I've stopped, answered it. He said, "Are you the cab driver?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Look, I've left me. Obviously, that's my phone." He said, "I've left it in your cab. I've got a business meeting tomorrow. I've got important information on there. Would you mind bringing it back?" I said, "Well, of course, it's not mine." And he said, "Well, I would doubt if I'd get it back in New York." I said, "Well, you're definitely not in New York, are you?" So he said, "When can you bring it back?" I said, "Well, you've got to realise that I'm not an eccentric millionaire doing this for a laugh." The phone's just telling me it's out of doing this for a laugh. I'm trying to pay my mortgage. And he says, "Look, I'll give you a number. When you get here, give us a ring and I'll come down." And so I never got near the hotel again. But at 3:30, when I finished my shift, I drove to the Comrade, and he's sitting outside on a chair with a blanket wrapped round him. And he says to me, "What's on the meter?" I said, "Well, £12.80. And he said, he's given me $100 bill. I said, "Well, I can't actually change American money." He said, "Well, I don't want any change." So I exchanged the $100 bill up for £70 cash. Brilliant.